For over a decade, Christine Brown's journey on Sister Wives has been told in pieces: the loyal wife, the heartbroken mother, the woman who found love again. But now two shocking revelations collide. Christine's own book confuses the timelines of Aspyn and Robyn's history, while her recent Bombshell confession reveals the truth about how she really met David. What happens when memory, love, and history no longer align? Did Christine accidentally rewrite the past story? Has she been shaping the story all along?
They're little ballerina slippers. I think it would just be hilarious if it turns out to be a boy after all this.
I'm pregnant again. This is my 6th baby. We know she's a girl, and her name is
Part 1. What if the stories you've trusted for over a decade were never told the same way twice? In Sister Wives, timelines matter. Dates, marriages, babies, these are the threads that hold the family story together. But Christine's own book and interviews reveal something shocking: contradictions about Aspyn, Robyn, and the early years. Now, we're peeling back the curtain on the book timeline mistakes that fans can't stop talking about. Was Christine rewriting her past, or was something more dramatic happening behind the scenes? In her memoir, Christine describes Aspyn's childhood and the introduction of Robyn into the family. But eagle-eyed readers noticed the math doesn't add up. Christine places key events in years that don't align with what we've seen on TLC or even with the family's own public statements. If Christine was off by just 1 year, fine. But fans uncovered multiple contradictions, raising suspicions that these weren't simple typos. Fans on Reddit and Facebook dug deeper. In Season 1, Robyn's courtship follows a clear timeline. But Christine's book places Aspyn at an age that doesn't line up. If Aspyn was 12 in one account, how could she be 10 in another? The errors raised eyebrows and questions. Were these innocent mistakes or deliberate attempts to reshape history? And then comes the most explosive part. Robyn's own retelling of her entrance into the family is crystal clear down to the month and even the proposal details. Christine? A completely different recollection. The contradictions paint two very different realities. But only one can be true. So who's telling the truth and who's protecting their image? For many women, trust is the core of sisterhood. And when Christine's words didn't match Robyn's, fans felt betrayed. If Christine could confuse Aspyn's timeline, what else might be blurred in the Sister Wives story? Some say this proves Christine was fighting silent battles, resentments that rewrote her memories. Was Christine's timeline mistake just sloppy, or was it a confession in disguise? Here's where it gets wild. Some fans argue Christine intentionally rewrote moments to downplay Robyn's importance. Others claim TLC producers edited the show to fit their own narrative, making Christine's book the real story. And then, there's the most shocking theory, that Christine's mistakes weren't mistakes at all, but subtle digs at Robyn, her way of reclaiming the family history. History belongs to the storyteller. If the storytellers can't agree, how do we know what really happened? Fans erupted online. Some defended Christine, saying trauma and years of manipulation could explain her memory gaps. Others accused her of weaponizing Aspyn's story against Robyn. But one thing became clear: the Sister Wives timeline isn't just about dates. It's about who controls the narrative. And if Christine and Robyn can't agree on the past, what hope is there for their future? In the end, Christine's confusing stories about Aspyn and Robyn aren't just timeline mistakes. They're a reminder that memory, pain, and perspective can change the way we see our own past. For fans, the question remains, was Christine rewriting history or reclaiming it? What do you think? Are Christine's mistakes innocent slips or proof of something deeper? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And Part 2. For years, fans believed Christine Brown's fairy tale story about meeting David Woolley. But in a recent Bombshell reveal, Christine admits the truth. And it's not what fans thought. Now, we uncover how she really met David and why it changes the entire narrative of her life after Kody Brown. Did Christine hide the truth to protect herself or to protect David? Christine's first version of events was sweet, almost cinematic. A widow meets a woman starting over, and they fall in love. But fans started asking questions, and Christine's later interviews revealed cracks in the fairy tale. She hinted at online exchanges, secret messages, and a timing that suggested she and David may have connected sooner than anyone realized. If Christine's new version is true, it means the sister wives' timeline was never what it seemed. Christine admitted she met David through a dating app. At first, she kept this detail quiet. Why? Because for many women, apps symbolize desperation or risk. But Christine's confession that it was a dating app all along hit fans like a shockwave. It wasn't chance. It wasn't fate. It was deliberate. Did Christine lie about their love story to make it sound more magical than it really was? The deeper bombshell? Christine revealed she and David connected far earlier than fans knew. Some say the romance began before she officially closed the door on Kody. Christine denies overlap, but the timing still fuels suspicion. For women who watch Christine's heartbreak unfold, this revelation sparked mixed emotions, relief for her happiness, but betrayal over the secrecy. Was Christine protecting her privacy or rewriting history again? Christine's confession wasn't just about David. It was about a new chapter. For decades, she was the quiet, loyal wife. Now, she's bold enough to admit she chose her happiness on her own terms. Meeting David through a dating app was no accident. It was a declaration, I control my story now. But with truth comes backlash, and not everyone is celebrating. Here's the shocking twist. Some fans believe Christine exaggerated her love story with David to sell a fairy tale ending, one that contrasts sharply with the pain of her sister wives' past. If she really met him online and months earlier, then every romantic detail from the first date to the proposal may have been polished for the cameras. Was it love, or was it storyline? If Christine scripted her own love story, what else has she rewritten? The fan response was explosive. Some applauded Christine for being real, saying every woman deserves a second chance at love, even on a dating app. Others accused her of misleading fans, manipulating timelines, and shading her past to make David look like the perfect savior. In the end, was this a confession, or a carefully crafted publicity move? The bombshell truth about how Christine really met David isn't just gossip. It's a window into the complexities of starting over, rewriting your narrative, and the risks of opening your heart again. For fans, the question remains, did Christine finally find her happily ever after, or did she rewrite her love story to make it look picture perfect? What do you believe? Was Christine brave for admitting the truth, or was she hiding something all along? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. In her memoir, Christine describes Aspyn's childhood and the arrival of Robyn. But fans quickly noticed. The math didn't add up. Ages shifted. Years overlapped. Christine wrote one version of events, while TLC's cameras showed another. Was it sloppy memory, or something deeper? If Aspyn was 12 in Christine's account, how could she be 10 in the episodes we saw? To understand the confusion, you have to go back. Robyn's entrance to the family wasn't just another wife joining. It was the breaking point. Christine often described that season as the hardest of her life. Could her timeline shift reflect her pain, her need to reframe those years? Was this memory gap a trauma response, or Christine's way of pushing Robyn out of her story? And just when fans thought Christine's past was confusing enough, came the bombshell. Christine revealed she didn't meet David by chance. Not at a store. Not through friends. But on a dating app. For months, she kept this hidden, protecting her privacy. Then she admitted the truth, and fans were stunned. If her fairy tale meeting wasn't real, what else in Christine's love story has been rewritten? The timing raised bigger questions. Christine admitted she and David connected earlier than anyone thought. Critics began asking, did Christine blur timelines to separate her heartbreak from her new love? And if so, was her book just the first rewrite, followed by her love story with David? Was Christine healing or hiding? For loyal fans, Christine was the truth teller, the one who finally broke free. But now, with timeline mistakes and secret dating confessions, trust began to crack. Women online wondered if Christine could misremember Aspyn's childhood and romanticize her first meeting with David. How much of the sister wives story is real at all? If Christine isn't the reliable narrator, then who is? Here's the twist. Maybe Christine's contradictions aren't mistakes at all. Maybe they're power. For decades, her story was filtered through Cody, Robyn, and TLC editors. Now, Christine controls the narrative. Every altered date, every romanticized detail, could be her way of reclaiming history from pain to empowerment. What if Christine's so-called mistakes were her loudest confession yet? The community remains divided. Some fans say Christine deserves her privacy and her happily ever after, no matter how she tells it. Others feel manipulated, as though timelines and romances were polished for headlines, not honesty. Either way, Christine has become more than a sister wife. She's become a storyteller, of her own choosing. And if Christine rewrites her past, what will she rewrite next? Christine Brown's confusing timelines and bombshell confessions aren't just reality TV drama. They're a mirror of real life of women rewriting their stories, choosing their truths, and daring to step into love again. Maybe Christine's contradictions aren't flaws. Maybe they're survival. In Season 1, Aspyn was shown helping her younger siblings during Robyn's courtship. Christine's book, however, describes Aspyn as being several years younger at that same moment. Fans went back to check the episode air dates September 2010 and matched them against the Brown family birthdays. The result? A clear mismatch. For detail-oriented viewers, these discrepancies weren't small, they were undeniable. If the dates on screen and the dates in print don't match, who should we believe? Reddit threads exploded. One fan wrote, I feel like Christine is gaslighting us with these dates. Another countered, no, she's a mom of 6. Of course, she mixed up a few years. On Facebook, comments flooded in. I've been through divorce too. Memories blur when you're in pain. These weren't just debates about dates, they were debates about Christine's integrity. To truly understand David, you have to step into his world before Christine. David Woolley was a widower, raising his children while running his drywall business in Utah. Friends describe him as quiet, hardworking, and fiercely devoted to family. For Christine, meeting David wasn't just about love, it was about stability after decades of emotional chaos with Cody. Was Christine drawn to David the man, or David the promise of a safe future? Christine's confession that she met David through a dating app connects her to millions of women over 40, a 2022 Pew study revealed that 32% of divorced women aged 40 to 60 in the U.S. tried dating apps. For many, it's a scary, vulnerable leap. By admitting she swiped right on David, Christine wasn't just telling her truth, she was normalizing the experience for countless fans watching from home. Maybe the real bombshell isn't that Christine met David online, but that she finally admitted she's just like the rest of us. Memory isn't a perfect record. Psychologists call it reconstructive recall, where trauma, emotion, and time reshape how events are remembered. For Christine, years of silent jealousy, Cody's favoritism toward Robyn, and her own heartbreak may have bent her timeline. When Christine says Aspyn was younger than she really was, it may not be a lie. It may be trauma speaking. So are Christine's mistakes lies? Or the scars of a broken marriage? On YouTube, reaction channels split down the middle. One creator said, Christine is rewriting history, plain and simple. Another argued, she deserves to tell her love story however she wants after all. Cody had control of the narrative for years. The division was clear. Christine's fans became defenders or critics, but no one stayed neutral. In trying to own her story, Christine may have sparked the fiercest fan war since Robyn's arrival. What do you think? Were Christine's timeline mistakes just trauma, gaps, or deliberate rewrites? And does her dating app confession make her story more real, or less? Drop your thoughts below. I'll be reading every comment. And if you've ever had to rewrite your own story, let's talk about it together. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more deep dives into sister wives drama. And coming up, we're investigating Robyn's secret past that TLC never aired. You won't want to miss it.